Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Mormouth. Tonight we're learning new details about a deadly shooting in Sanford that happened in a Best Buy parking lot back in December. Police believe the victim was robbed and shot during a deal to sell some iPhones and an iPad.
Now, we have been following this story since the man was shot and killed during a busy shopping week. Sanford police have arrested 2 suspects and are looking for a third. News 6 reporter Catherine Silver is at the jail tonight.
It is a homicide charge, which is a capital felony.
Both Khalil Hunter and Shanavius Dorsey are facing robbery and murder charges for the death of Terrence Pope Jr. The 21-year-old was shot in this Best Buy parking lot in December during a deal to buy electronics.
Whatever the disagreement was, or whatever caused them to change their mind, it definitely wasn't worth it.
Friday, Sanford police spoke publicly about the crime for the first time since the arrests.
What more can you tell us about what this deal was? It seems like they were going to be exchanging some iPhones and an iPad, possibly.
It seems that Terrence Pope was going to possibly purchase electronics from the 3 individuals, and they knew that he would have money. At some point, they didn't engage into the transaction. They robbed him.
Newly released affidavits detail the surveillance video and phone records they've linked together. But it was a third suspect, James Nelson's statements to detectives that revealed more about what happened. He told officers the deal sounded suspicious, but he agreed to go along anyway and stayed in the car while Hunter and Dorsey met with the victim. After he heard shots, the pair claimed the victim pulled a gun on them, so they had to defend themselves. Police haven't determined if Pope was actually armed.
There is nothing that has been revealed to the investigation team at this time that he put up a fight.
Investigators believe the group's actions were planned out, that Hunter and the victim had spoken before the shooting. Dorsey was a willing participant, and Nelson later changed his story and admitted he drove the getaway car.
We believe all 3 played equal involvement in this.
When officers stopped Hunter in the same car spotted at the crime scene days later, they also found parts of the firearm Nelson reportedly told them he loaned Hunter before the shooting.
Both Hunter and Dorsey are being held at the jail without bond. Officers say that Nelson stopped talking to them and disappeared. The victim in this case was just 21 years old. He was a son, a brother, a football player. His friends and family say he was a source of love, laughter, and strength to all who knew him. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, getting results, News 6.
This is a live look now from Southern California. Fire crews say low water pressure from the hydrants is making it very difficult to fight the flames. So far, the wildfires have burned at least 36,000 acres.
For an idea of just how large of an area that is, it's roughly the same amount of land as Claremont, Oakland, Winter Garden, Ocoee, and Pine Hills combined. California's largest fire, the Palisades fire, is only around 8% contained tonight. Really just a brutal situation.
Yeah, could you imagine having all that land
Right.
burned here in
Just
Central
wiped
Florida?
off.
Yeah.
Just wiped off. It's absolutely awful. And meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. It's a tough situation there, Jonathan, and we know that here locally we have this day, if you got out there and enjoyed the warmth,
fantastic.
Hopefully you were able to do that if you like the warm weather, because
if you blink, it's over.
That's right. Yeah, we're going to lose it again tomorrow, and then it's going to be reinforced some of the colder air through the next 7 to 10 days and beyond. We talked about this about a week ago, that we'd likely have a very cold end to January, and that continues to look like it's coming on the pipeline. 64 in Kissimmee right now. A very nice evening, though, in Orlando. We're at 66. We're at 65 in the Villages. Cool spot tonight. Palm Coast, good evening. We are at 59 degrees. Look at the temperature change. This tells the story. Again, you can feel it when you step outside. Running about 20-ish degrees warmer at 6:30 tonight than where we were yesterday at 6:30. So a huge change. We were talking about that because of a very large storm system that's sliding to our south. That system arrives here, or sliding to our north, I should say. That system arrives here tomorrow as a form of a cold front that'll increase rain chances just a little bit, but much warmer overnight tonight and very windy overnight. We'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes. We're We're at 60 by midnight, 60 degrees still by 2 o'clock in the morning as rain chances start to come up a little bit anyway. We'll pinpoint the timeline of that front and then talk about the next round of cold, guys, coming up at about 6:47.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Volusia County and Advance Health surprised more than 100 kids today with a new set of wheels, bicycles.
That's pretty cool. It's part of a pilot program to help reduce absenteeism. News 6 reporter Jarrell Baker has more.
It's Liliana's lucky day. She came to school on a bus, and now she, along with dozens of other Volusia County School District students, will go home with a new bike.
How y'all chose me for this bike, I'm very thankful for what I have. It doesn't really matter if it was a small bike and a big bike. It doesn't really matter. I'm thankful for what I got.
Advent Health gave Volusia County schools money to buy 168 bicycles and helmets for students in need, aiming to drop chronic absenteeism district-wide by 10% by the end of the school year.
This is not the ultimate answer or the sole answer, but this is one of the barriers that we're trying to overcome.
Superintendent Carmen Balgobin says the district currently has 14,000 students classified as chronically absent, students missing more than 2 days a month for excused and unexcused absences.
It's speaking to the families and the children. Yes, they're walking to school, but from the time they're leaving, they're not getting to school on time, right? So the families were like, you know, the bike would make a difference. We just don't have the financial resources to be able to provide them.
Liliana's mom, Kiana Taylor, says it's a challenge to catch the bus and get her daughter ready for school. But now with the new bike, it'll be more motivation.
She want to ride it, so I probably let her ride it one day to school. But she probably do regular transportation as our bus.
I guess you approve of that plan, huh?
Yes.
Traffic safety expert Trooper Seves says that Central Florida is one of the top-ranking destinations for vehicle versus pedestrians and bicycle crashes. He says safety should be top of mind.
I would be excited getting a free bicycle to ride to school, but it comes with a huge responsibility, just like driving a car. You have to know certain rules. You have to know what safety equipment and how to properly use stuff like that.
Dr. Balgobin says that children receive a short orientation on safety when they get their bikes and other safety tips throughout the year. In Volusia County, Jarrell Baker, getting results, News 6.
Thank you, Jarrell. Let's take a look at what's trending right now on Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. Run Disney releases 2025-26 race season calendar at Disney World. Disney is off to the races in 2025 with the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. The 5K and 10K races have concluded. The marathon, though, kicks off on Saturday at Epcot and Magic Kingdom. That's the half. And then the full marathon, all 26.2, Sunday at all 4 parks.
Oh, I'm going to miss it.
I know, me too.
Again.
Shoot, I forgot to sign up. Runners can also participate in Goofy's Race and a half challenge and the Dopey Challenge. The Dopey Challenge consists of 6 medals and 48.6 miles in 1 weekend. Very fitting name. That's what it requires. You got to be a little dopey to do
I
that.
didn't even drive that far on the weekend.
You can get a full list of the registration dates and the events for Run Disney by going to clickorlando.com.
God bless all those people who participate. They are in phenomenal shape, and the weather's going to be a little chilly for them.
It's going to be chilly.
Yeah, it makes them run a little faster. I would rather have cooler weather than hot weather.
But also a pretty cool place. If you're going to run 26.2,
yeah, do it there.
You got a lot to look at.
For sure. Here are some of the other trending stories right now on clickorlando.com. Yes, you can paint this strange Florida bridge. Up in Pensacola sits a large, colorful bridge beneath an old railroad track plastered with graffiti. At first glance, the site looks like a victim of vandalism, though what first-time visitors might not know is that it's all perfectly legal to do that. And Costco is expected to open at the Central Florida Mall. We told you this a little bit yesterday, but it's confirmed that a new Costco will open on site at the soon-to-be-closed Seminole Town Center. No details, though, as to when it will open, but other businesses plan on opening a spot on the new project development. You can find all of those details on clickorlando.com. People are lining up already just to get into the Costco.
They got enough parking there.
Yeah, they do.
That's what's good.
It's perfect. It's a perfect place for it.
I can't think of a better place. Love it. Well, the future of tech is at CES 2025 in Las Vegas.
Yeah, coming up, see some of the high-tech gadgets and gizmos that could change your everyday life.
And tax season around the corner, how a new program provides a free way to file your taxes. You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Micanopy. Chuliota, and then all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your weekend evening traffic alert. You will see some lane closures out here along I-4 east and westbound right around 528. So please make sure you are paying attention to that throughout the weekend. Also 417 north and southbound, some lane closures within Orange and Seminole County, right around the county line. So around the Aloma Union Park area. Nice weekend means we're going to ramp up that construction. I'm Trooper Steve with the News 6 Traffic Alert. Drive safely. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday morning.
Florida's citrus industry continues to struggle as the latest U.S. Department of Agriculture forecast shows no change in orange and grapefruit yields after Hurricane Milton. The harvest is expected to be 20% lower than pre-Milton projections and 33% below last season's already historic low. This comes as a major grower, Alico Incorporated, announced it will exit the citrus business, removing 12% of Florida's citrus acreage. This season's output could be the lowest since 1918-19 growing season.
Well, tax filing season is near, and Floridians have a new free option. Don't we like the sound of that? It's called the Direct File program. This started as a pilot program here in Florida and around the country last year. The head of the IRS says because of the positive feedback, it is now permanent.
But we heard from Americans that were interested in another option. We want one that's direct with the IRS, also online, also easy to use. We want one that's free.
Well, this free option is open to millions of Floridians, but the IRS still encourages people to continue to use software that they're happy to use. Maybe you use TurboTax, H&R Block, and other service. However, there is one caveat for Direct File. To be eligible, you must have lived in Florida for all of 2024. We have all the details, eligibility requirements, and everything you need to know by going to clickorlando.com.
Very handy tool. Take advantage of it right now. All right, here's a live look over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. What a beautiful day. We started out on the crisp side. It warmed up nicely.
Sure did.
And boy, you're going to snatch it away Just like
oh yes, it's gonna not last very long, guys.
Yeah.
Getting into tomorrow, clouds come back. We have a few showers early on, and then chilly weather comes back.
So today was our day, is what you're saying.
Today was the day, unfortunately, and I think it's the day for really the next couple of weeks.
Did I hear you say there are like 3 fronts?
Yeah, 3 fronts. We have the one Saturday, the one Monday, and then there's one down the line that's not on the 7-day forecast yet. It's looming in the 21st to 24th. That one could be like the anything that I can do better front. And that could be the coldest one. That could be the one of the season. Yeah. Anyway.
We've been warned.
Yeah, so there you go. A lot more cold coming. Down the pipeline. It was nice and warm today. It was not nice and warm in Atlanta. I wanted to show you this again. The nice, pretty shot of Orlando. It's not looking like that in Atlanta. This is from the Georgia Tech campus looking towards downtown. We could see the buildings the last time we took a look at this, but the one thing I wanted to point out was the snow on the roof. They picked up several inches of snow today. Things are not good in Atlanta right now. It's a live look with our WeatherStem network of cameras in downtown Atlanta again. It's certainly much different. I'm showing you Atlanta because that system is coming in our direction. It will, of course, be in the form of some rain. There you go with the snow towards the Carolinas, area of low pressure, and the cold front that's working towards the Big Bend region right now will give us the big chill around as we get towards the next part of the upcoming work week. For that, here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Mild overnight tonight, though. We're going to keep a very warm evening. The wind is going to be breezy, windy out of the south overnight. You'll likely hear that when you're sleeping overnight. That wind really start to crank up. 51 overnight in Claremont, 50 in Mount Dora, mid to upper 50s in Orlando, 50 degrees in Holopaw. The wind forecast again over the next few hours. There we go at midnight. Wind gusts to about 20 miles an hour. We'll keep that through the overnight. So if you're getting ready to head to the Disney Half Marathon tomorrow, if you're going in that direction, it's going to be windy. There's going to be a few showers around. It is going to be on the milder side things, all things considered, though. 62 for a high tomorrow. We're at 62 in Mount Dora, 64 degrees in Orlando with rain chances on the rise, relatively speaking. There's 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Again, a few scattered showers in the mix. I think we keep the clouds around for the bulk, if not all of the day, with just a few breaks in between. 7, 8 o'clock on your Saturday evening, we'll start to watch a few shower chances go back up again. Still nothing to write home about, nothing too heavy, but we will be doing a little bit of dodging as we get into the early morning again tomorrow. And then again tomorrow evening. There's 3 o'clock on your Sunday afternoon. Lots of sunshine. It's going to be on the cooler side, though, once again. For that, here's a look at your pinpoint accurate 7-day forecast. We're back to the mid-60s again tomorrow. High temperature is going to be closer to the morning as that front slides through. We'll see a 30% shot for scattered showers again once in the morning and then again in the evening. 63 degrees on Sunday, back to the low 60s on Monday. Note overnight again, Sunday morning and Monday morning, we're back to the low to mid-40s. Beyond that, there's our next system on Monday again. That'll give us our next shot of rain, and you see what happens. That one has a little more bite to it, that next front. Highs again only in the 50s. Lows go back to the 30s and low 40s. And then, guys, I think it's really once we get into that 22nd, 23rd realm, into that maybe 21st, 23rd, in that ballpark anyway. That's when the big one could come through. We're watching that one closely, guys.
Boy, I can't wait. Thank you, John.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's Tech's big January showcase. CES returned to the Las Vegas Strip this week with the futuristic, the fantastic, and some solutions for everyday life.
Yeah, Karen Kafa is on the show floor in Las Vegas.
The new year brought all things new in tech to Las Vegas this week. CES 2025 coming to a close Friday after a showcase of robots.
It sounds like you're describing something interesting. Could you tell me more about it?
Like Enchanted Tool's social robot, a possible helper in hospitality and healthcare.
Technology can be more than useful. Technology can bring smile.
And Roborock's robot vacuum with a grabby arm that will pick socks up off the floor. And the Nekajita Fufu, which sits on a cup, blows air, and cools a steaming drink. For those sensitive not to heat but to salt, Kieran's electric salt spoon sends an electric current to the tongue to give low-sodium foods more flavor. And at the heart of many featured devices, AI, assisting the brisket grill with recipes and perfect cooking temperatures.
The food that comes off the grill will be delicious and great to eat.
Powering Wonder's nature camera, Petal, identifying flowers and insects in home gardens.
Almost think of it as chatting with nature, right?
And in Bosch's Revel Crib, keeping tabs on a baby's vital signs and rocking a child who can't sleep. Many products on the floor aren't on the market yet, and that's why Bridget Carey, editor-at-large for CNET, says CES gives that glimpse into what the future could look like.
This is really a place where you see where the big pitch is for the future. It never is the kind of thing that you see in a store tomorrow.
So drivers not quite ready for a solar-powered vehicle like Aptera's EV still have some time.
All right, so some really cool stuff. And get this, Karen Kaifa joins us live on the show floor in Las Vegas.
Hey, Karen, thank you for being here. We have a few questions for you, and then we'll let you go. So the first one is like artificial intelligence, right? It powered a lot of those products that you showed us at this year's show. But a lot of us are still wary of AI. How do companies highlight some of the more practical uses of AI? I just watched a video the other day saying, what happens when the robots don't need us anymore? So what are some of the answers to those questions, Karen?
Yeah, there is a lot of hesitation among the average consumer around AI. It's a big, broad concept, and it can be a little intimidating. There are also the questions about privacy and invasiveness into your home. So what we saw on the part of a lot of companies here was a softer sell of the AI, right? Really emphasizing how this technology can make your life incrementally better in small ways. For example, Bosch had an oven that relies on AI to make sure your lasagna or whatever you got in the oven is going to be baked to perfection using that technology. We also saw startup Brisket Grills, where again, it uses AI technology to make sure ribs don't get overcooked, even if you have to step away for a while. So those tiny introductions to AI, seeing things on a small scale. The big guys like LG Electronics, for example, described it as affectionate intelligence as more AI comes into your home. So really that emphasis on how it can make life better as the technology progresses, guys.
Boy, I could use all that help, all the help I could get in the kitchen.
Brisket, right?
I love that. I love that feature of AI. All right, so CES always featuring plenty of robots. How close are we to having more robots in our everyday lives, Karen?
Well, we've got robots here on the floor that were doing very specific things, right? In terms of the robot that does everything, including your laundry and your household chores, we're not quite there yet. We did see a lot of robots that are still kind of stumbling, that are freezing up. Sometimes they fall down. But the robots that do very specific things, for example, picking up your socks was a Roborock's robot vacuum, or even just blowing on your soup to make sure it stays cool with the Nekajita Fufu. Those kinds of small tasks for robots are there. Again, as the technology progresses, we'll see more things like the robot from Enchanted Tools, which is designed for the hospitality industry, also the healthcare industry, with a very comforting and warm interface. And those are the kinds of things that are going to come a little bit later down the line. But in terms of robots for now, you're going to ask that robot to do some very specific things, and we'll see how it all plays out later.
Pick up a sock. Yeah, okay, that's what kids are for. But anyway, we'll see. Next year it'll be a different story. Karen, great job as always. Thank you so much.
Thanks. We'll be right back.
Coming up Monday, expanding internet access in Central Florida's largest city.
The Orlando communities that could soon have access to free Wi-Fi and how much it's going to cost taxpayers to set the whole thing up.
All right, plus your pinpoint weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We'll see you Monday for News 6 Mornings, 5 to 7 a.m.
Behind every nonprofit, there is a story of need and a plan to make things better.
News 6's Julie Broughton looks back at how one Central Florida food pantry got their start and how they continue to be there and get results for their neighbors.
Look, that's where we used to be, Loaves and Fishes. Isn't that amazing? 1984. That's when it first started.
When you've been helping the community for more than 40 years,
Brings you back the good old days.
your history can be told in black and white.
Wow.
You see, tradition runs deep at this food pantry in South Apopka.
Some of our volunteers are still here.
Lori Reeves and I took a stroll down memory lane.
So this is our little wall that we just absolutely love. This is our little building. This is what we used to be.
It's a trip that starts in the citrus groves of Apopka's past.
Apopka had huge orange groves and a lot of workers, of course, that's where they were employed. Well, back in the 80s, we suffered a very major devastating freeze. I think there were 2 freezes. And it took all the orange groves out and all the migrant workers lost their jobs. So they started inundating the churches because they didn't know where else to go. They were really lost. And so the churches decided to form one organization.
They called it Loaves and Fishes.
Good morning, Carrie. How are you?
Time moved on, and so did those families.
Yeah.
Today, the average client is someone like Carolyn Barker Carson.
You've made my life so much easier.
We love having you here.
She lives nearby in a mobile home. Her fixed income just isn't keeping up with inflation.
So I would be in the middle without a paddle, as they say, if it hadn't been for people like this. And these folks have been really kind to me.
And now it's more senior citizens because they're on a fixed income.
What would you like up here?
Most of them rent. Their rent keeps going up astronomically, not just a little bit, but horribly. And they have no way of making any more money. And so they're coming here, and a lot of times they're saying, I don't know what I would do without Loaves and Fishes. I don't know how I would eat.
So it's safe to say they're getting results.
They are getting results beyond comprehension.
Dino Raquel nominated them for the News 6 Getting Results Award.
They love what they do. They absolutely love this place. They love everyone here, everyone that comes here. It's just a very lovely place.
It's a godly mission for us to be able to help others and to help others as we would want to be treated. We're still here 41 years later. It's just a real blessing.
Bravo to them.
Yeah, for sure. In Orlando, a remarkable celebration took place today. A World War II Army veteran is marking a milestone that few achieve, his 100th birthday.
I love this. The event at the Community Living Center pays tribute to Harold B. Gross for his life of service and sacrifice. And he served in the 3rd Army under General George S. Patton and received recognition from VA and congressional leaders. Born in Germany, raised in the Caribbean, and settled in Detroit, Gross has witnessed a century of history, and he wanted to share some words of wisdom for life and service for our younger generation.
Sufficient amount of rest and sleep at night. In other words, don't go ahead and do partying with alcohol.
Wow. I love him. I love the rest part and the sleep. That was such a lovely event. From all of us here, we wish him a very, very happy 100th birthday.
Sash and all, baby.
He was handsome as a young man. He's handsome as 100 years old. When he said Patton, I looked General Patton up.
Isn't that crazy?
General Patton was born in 1885.
No.
He served under a man born in the 1800s. That's incredible. Thank you, sir, for your service. We love you. Thank you for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We'll see you back at 11. Hope you have a great night.